Alright, so this is the second part of the ZBrush hard surface versus SubD modeling hard surface. If you haven't watched the first video, I really recommend that you do so now before you watch this video, because most of this stuff, most of the terminologies that I'm using was mentioned in the first video. It's pretty relevant. So if you haven't watched the video, you probably wouldn't understand what I'll be doing in this video, so please be aware of that. Okay, without further ado, I'll jump right into the action right now. So in the last video, there's a problem with the boolean when I have really visible pinching below the surface. If you watch the video, you will notice this pinching. So the way that I fixed it was, okay, before I go into the actual video tutorial, I'm gonna be doing that. Let me explain what I'm doing. So you can see the button that I'm pressing down on the left hand corner. Okay, so what I did was I separated the mesh into 3 segments instead of 2. The last video, this one was in 1 mesh, and this one is the other mesh. So instead of 2, I got 3 right now. So that you want to have this one as a main mesh to boolean in, and then this one is the cut mesh, the sub mesh to boolean into this one. If you crease it correctly, it will not create a pinching on the side. Sorry, my house is near the construction, so you will probably hear a lot of noise around. You know, noisy neighbors. You have to accept that. Before I take this into ZBrush, I have one more step to do. Is you go into select. Again, I'm gonna be providing the script in the description in this video as well, but I talked about that script in the last video. I'm gonna open that up in the script editor. So what this script does is that it will turn all your selection into restricted hard edges only. So whatever you do, you click that button, you go into edge mode, and it will turn everything you selected into the hard edges, which is these ones. Okay. If you don't know about hard edges and soft edges in Maya, I recommend do a quick Google search, because it's a whole topic on its own. I'm not gonna explain it in this video. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to edge mode, hit that button. It will turn your selection into hard edge. And you go detach. It will detach the edge into 2 edges, which is very convenient for a hard surface. Like, let me show you. These ones are not connected. I'm gonna do that with this one as well. Go to edge mode, click that script, and then detach the component. And this one as well. Go to hard edge, click that script, and then detach it. Okay. Now, before you did that, you have to save a copy of the mesh. Otherwise, you have to Control Z a lot. Take that one, export, clear the scene. Now you import that one, import in. Okay, now you got the whole mesh. Now what you want to do is split 3 parts into their corresponding subtool. So you want to split these, split hidden, split hidden. Then you do another split hidden. It's a bit annoying if you do split 2 parts. It will drop everything that you split in here. Say for this one, it actually has 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. If you go split 2 parts, it will split these into their subtools, which is really annoying. You have to do simple, or you have other ways, I don't know, maybe there's another way. Okay, when you get this, you gotta go crease body grip, because it's actually multiple body grips in the object, but you can't see it since you split them in here. It wouldn't show the colors until you hit auto grips. Now you can visualize the body grips that you got. You can do this stuff to visualize the body grip, but it wouldn't be necessary. All you have to do is only hitting this button, crease body grip. You can find crease body grip in geometry, crease, and crease body grip. Hit that, and it will turn everything you creased in Maya into creased edges. Now what you want to do is weld points, because these points are not connected. You have to weld them in after freezing. Hit weld point with weld distance 1, because it's basically sitting on top of each other. You can find weld point in geometry, in modify topology, and then weld points. After welding, you turn on dynamic SubD. Is under geometry, dynamic dynamic, and then crank up the smooth subdivision. This is the main mesh. It's gonna be looking like that. You're gonna start the operation, Boolean operation, from this mesh. So this is called the main mesh. These are called the sub meshes. I'll do the same with this one. Crease bow grip, weld point, and then turn on dynamic SubD. Turn the subdivision to 4. That's it. Okay, do the same for this one. Crease, weld, dynamic SubD, turn to 4. And we crease this one, yeah. So if the software doesn't crease that for you, you have to crease it manually. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time it does a good job. But in this case, I'm gonna go to Z Modeler brush, BZM, hover over an edge and then press base, change the operation to crease, and then the target is going to be edge. Hit that, and then it will crease an edge. And this one too. Hit dynamic SubD. Yeah, I got that. Right, so now I'm gonna turn on live boolean and press the start. But actually I'm going to only boolean the first two first. Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the visibility of the third one. Turn off, sorry. And then do the make a boolean mesh. So you can find a button in on the subtool, and then boolean. Make sure you turn on this one because you use the dynamic SubD, and then click on this one. It will be creating the U mesh. This one is the boolean mesh. So now what I'm going to do is going to be dynamic 2 millions, nearly 3. Yeah, it works good. Okay, so now I'm going to go to deformation. There's the polish crisp edges. You turn the button off, then crank the value up. Right. Okay. I crank just a little bit so that when I boolean the other mesh in, I crank up another time. Okay, so now the pinching is eliminated. It's only this one, which is expected. I'll pull the other one in. I click on this one, go to the other subtool, and then insert that one in. Okay. Now I do another boolean. This time, I'm gonna use the shortcut menu. Okay, now I'm gonna do another dynamic. I turned off the polish crisp edges, and then crank the value up. Yeah. Right, so now I'm going to decimate it. Do a 4% of decimation. Okay, export this one and bring it into Maya. Or this one, I'm gonna hide that and bring the other one in. Right. So the pinching is eliminated. I'm gonna delete this this one. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this one next to each other in order to compare. The result is pretty much the same, except for the pinching. I mean the edge, the surface edge. If you want the surface to be smoother, you're gonna go in and select these, smooth it, and then bring this one up a bit, up, so the transition is smoother. That is just a trick. But you can see everywhere else is basically the same. It looks identical. It's almost up to what is more convenient for you, which workflow you want to do. It's not very different. So let's get back into the video. I'm gonna be comparing the other objects too. I select that, go to H mode. I'm gonna do a bevel operation. You're gonna go in and connect all the hanging vertices, but I'm not gonna do that here, except for these ones. So there's a wobbly effect right there here. If you don't connect the vertices, it will be like this, but after you connect them, it'll be smoother. Right, so this one is done. I'm gonna take this one into the brush. First, I'm gonna go and do the hard edge selection, and then detach them. Actually, I'm copying another one to back up. Detach, and then export. Go to ZBrush. You're gonna choose ports and triangles, which is what I'm usually check. Sometimes it will throw an error, like the mesh is not clean. So in this case, for the upper and lower surface of this one, I gotta go in and connect all the edges. I'm gonna do that. And the same for this one. Okay, now I'm done. I'll take that, export, import, yeah. Okay, crease bullet group, all creased, waypoint, dynamic SubD, 4, level 4. Yeah, it's all sharp and clean. And now I'm doing since everything is done using the crease method, you can get away with the Boolean operation. But now you can go straight into Dynamesh. I forgot that when you actually don't do the Boolean operation, you have to turn the dynamic subdiv into real subdivision before doing the Dynamesh. Otherwise, it will Dynamesh based on level 0 subdivision that you got by passing the levels of dynamic subdiv. So before I do that, I'm gonna Ctrl Z until this one, and then I'm going to apply the dynamic subdiv. Do the Dynamesh 4 million, and then I'll go to polySelectConstraint edges, turn the button off, and crank the value up a little bit more. Okay, if this is the result that you want, you can take that into Maya and do the retopology. Sorry, do the low poly. I'll do the decimation level 4. Yeah, take that one into post. Import. There. This one is done. It's really similar. If you get closer, maybe the ZBrush one is better, since the operation is done in a procedural way, so you will not see any pinching. The result will be clearer when it comes to the rounded object, like this one and this one. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. SubD Boolean difference. Make sure the vertices are connected. Alright, and connect the vertices here too. Okay, so now I got all the hard edges. Hard edge. Go to edge mode. Deselect these. Yep. And then bevel. Turn off chamfer. Right? Yeah. Okay, there's a noticeable pinching in this area since we don't have enough resolution to cover that up. In this case, if you use a denser mesh, I'm sure the pinching will be less noticeable. Okay, let's go to this one. Go to hard edge, detach. This one too. Hard edge, detach. Export. Meshed 4. Go to ZBrush, import. Okay, split hidden main mesh, crease body grip, weight point, do that the same with this one, crease body grip, weight point, oops, weight point, okay. Now turn on dynamic SubD, crank up to 4, this one too, dynamic SubD, level 4, okay. Now I want to subtract in, and then start the boolean mesh. Yeah, now I'm gonna dynamic mesh, polish the edges. Since the result of this one is not desirable, I want the edges up here to be smooth. But in this case, these edges, the circular edges, are pretty sharp still. What you can do is you can smooth it by hand. You can go and smooth it by hand. What you want to do is you go to you press shift and then click down, and then you hold the click, you release shift, and then you start dragging. It will start the relax operation without destroying your topology. So this is the result. Sorry, let me show you. This one is sharper, this one is smoother, right? This one I just did relaxed on it, right? So if it's not very hard to do, you should do this way. Otherwise, for each level of smoothness, you're gonna do another boolean. If you don't know what I just said, just watch the first video and you got no idea. Okay. Decimate. Decimate with 4% of decimation. And take this one into layer. Like this. Right? It's a little bit of the bloated effect, but most of the time, this will be acceptable. So the pinching is really big in here, except for this area, everything is pretty much great. Okay, for the last example, I have done the two for my version. This one I use less topology. The pinching is really annoying, it pops out a lot. But with this one, I use denser mesh. You eliminate the pinching almost entirely, but the mesh is really dense. You got so less control, but let's see what ZBrush can do. I don't have to detach it since this one is already hard edge. Take this one into ZBrush. Go to ZBrush, import, mesh file, and I do a split 2 parts. Okay, this is the main mesh. Start the boolean here. This one I'm gonna union in. This one I'm gonna subtract like that. Okay. Now I don't need to smooth this one since it's creased already. So for this one, I'm gonna do the dynamic SubD level 4, of course, right? And then turn on this one and make boolean mesh, right? And then I'm gonna mesh, and then polish. Decimate. I hide this, import the other one in. Okay. The pinching is not visible. Look at this edge. This corner is very sharp. Not for that one. This one is soft, but it reveals the pinching. This one you don't have the pinching, but the edge is soft. With this object, ZBrush is better. I usually almost do these kind of difficult objects with ZBrush, but you can choose to do the operation with Maya, but you're gonna be really careful with the pinching, otherwise it's gonna be really annoying. So yeah, if you have any question, please comment down below. I have finished a 2-part explanation video for you guys to be comparing the two methods, but you know, I always go for ZBrush for such hard, difficult objects like these. Most of the time they're random objects, because random objects always throw out artifacts and pinching all around the place, especially in the corners. Right, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna be seeing you in the next video. Bye.